I welcome you to the webinar, and we're going to talk about the top 5 reasons to apply to the 100 Best Fleets. My name is Kathy Wellik with the Client Success Team at Agile Fleet. And as a previous fleet director and having a fleet team that is placed in the top 100 Best Fleets multiple times, I'm pleased to be with you for today's webinar. The purpose of today's webinar is to increase awareness of the 100 Best Fleets contest among our Agile Fleet clients, and we'll show you where you can get the data out of our system. That being said, there may be other fleet professionals on the webinar that are using another system, and that's okay. There will still be good information for you to learn more about the 100 Best Fleets. We'll provide tips and tricks to help make it easier to apply so you don't feel overwhelmed when looking at the information. And while some fleets on the call may have previously applied for the 100 Best Fleets, there may be some listeners today that have never applied until this year. As I commonly say in fleet, we're all in this together, and I'm here to help others with telling their fleet stories. So today's agenda here is going to include an overview of the program and provide tips and tricks of where you may find information. Each fleet that applies for the contest has their own criteria or KPIs that they will discuss. So it's impossible for me to provide you with a complete step-by-step for reports, etc. However, some of you may think that your fleet doesn't have a chance because they only have a small number of vehicles and there are so many larger fleets. That makes no difference at all. I will discuss more about that in a bit. So why should you apply for the 100 Best Fleets? Your staff work hard and deserve to be recognized for their efforts. You work hard and deserve to be recognized for your efforts by your peers and clients. Fleet is often a forgotten yet very necessary part of an organization, and the contest draws attention to your fleet from upper management. You have invested in Fleet Commander or other technology to make your fleet better, and you have information available to show your investment is saving your organization time and money when used properly. And finally, we often get busy and forget just how much we do to support the overall organization. And it's wonderful to reflect on the success of Fleet and plan for future success. So what is better than having successes to celebrate with your staff? So next, we want to talk about what is NAFA, Fleet Management Association. Many of you may be members of NAFA and some may not. You do not have to be a member of NAFA to be a part of the contest. NAFA, as their mission statement says on their website, propels the fleet and mobility profession through its world-class certification, education, advocacy, and peer fleet networking programs, and it is an essential element of success for individuals involved in the profession. The core values include integrity, which is demonstrated by uncompromised dedication for being a trusted, unbiased, and credible source of information and expertise, leadership, which is demonstrated by professional and personal pride in shaping the future of fleet and mobility management through education and advocacy, and community, which is demonstrated by professional and personal pride in being part of a collegial alliance of individuals with a common passion for excellence, mutual respect, shared experience, and collective action. So what is the NAFA 100 Best Fleets? Well, I can't think of anyone better to help us describe the 100 Best Fleet contest than none other than Mr. Michael Brennan, who is the 100 Best Fleets coordinator and the chief judge for the contest and works with NAFA year-round, providing many fleet webinars and opportunities to fleet professionals. Mike has 40+ years in the fleet industry, 20-time winner of the 100 Best Fleets Award, a 3-time AEMP winner, an industry consultant for both public and private fleets, a contributing editor to multiple magazines, and the project coordinator and lead judge for the 100 Best Fleets contest. Thank you, Mike, for taking time out of your busy schedule to explain what the 100 Best contest is and help us better understand what the judges are looking for in the 100 Best Fleets applications. We encourage our clients to apply for the contest. If you can take us through what is the 100 Best Fleets, this year's changes, what the judges are looking for, and the items you need before you start, then I will come back and I will take us through the application process. Go ahead, Mike, and tell us more.
Thank you, Kathy. It's a pleasure to be here, and welcome everyone who's attending this webinar. We're very happy to have you here, and it's great to get information out about NAFA and the 100 Best Fleets program. The 100 Best Fleets program is expanding under NAFA's umbrella of educational portfolio, and what it basically is it's a way to not only recognize what your team is doing, but it actually gives you an annual benchmark, because the contests go annually. So you can concentrate when you fill out these applications on where you were the prior year or where you want to go, and you can start measuring that through your application process. So it's a great thing. And we are expanding the program now that it's under NAFA, and we're going to talk about that here coming up. So if we can head on to the next slide. So the contest was originally started to set goals and to set benchmarks and these types of things, and get your team recognition. As Kathy said, the contest itself was started by Tom Johnson long ago, over 20 years ago, and his initiative and his goal was to give everybody a way to benchmark themselves on an annual basis and get some recognition for the hard work that they do and the recognition that they duly deserve. Now that the 100 Best Fleets program is under the NAFA umbrella of educational portfolios, NAFA is expanding the program. We're not only going to have the contest with goal setting and benchmarking and recognition programs, but we're taking the information received from the applications and turning that into information and sending the information back out to you, the fleets who are out there doing this wonderful work. So next year on this slide, you'll see there'll be another bullet on here, and it will have educational programs. So that'll be changing, and that's what we've been doing this past year. And all of us in the 100 Best Fleets program working on that are really excited about what we're bringing to the industry at this time. So if we can move on. So this year we've been working very hard since last year's contest. And some of the things we've done, because for years the 100 Best Fleets contest was only for public entities. Well, NAFA has a lot of public entities, but we also have a lot of commercial and construction firms that are members, and there are literally thousands of other commercial construction agencies and all those across the United States and North America. So we needed to get something out there for that side of the house as well. So we worked very hard, and at the INE this past year, we did a workshop with commercial fleets, and some public fleet managers sat in as well. And we started working on developing criteria for the commercial 100 Best Fleets contest. We worked diligently through the summer. We formed an advisory panel, and we identified 24 potential areas of competencies that we should be looking at, and the advisory panel narrowed that down to 10. So we were successful in getting the commercial contest moving this year. It is available for those of you who are in the commercial sector out there on this webinar. Kathy will be telling you where to go and how to get the information for your participation. On top of that, we wanted to go a little deeper as well. So we decided this year we had the time, and we were really working on this very hard in October and early November, and we finalized a Fleet Professional of the Year award, as well as a Fleet Technician of the Year award. So the Fleet Professional of the Year award is not necessarily limited to a fleet director or a fleet manager. It could be an analyst. It could be a supervisor. It could be a logistics coordinator. It's designed for those working in fleet doing outstanding work other than the technicians. So we wanted to recognize those fleet professionals. So we have that one going this year. We also have the Fleet Technician of the Year, and those are on the website. When your agency applies for the 100 Best Fleets contest as an agency, it will allow you to submit applications for a Fleet Technician of the Year and Fleet Professional of the Year. So we're very excited about that. We're looking forward to getting these applications in, and I just can't wait to see and read all about all these good things these folks are doing out there. So let's move on a little bit here. Can we move on to the next slide, Kathy?
I'm showing it. John,
okay.
What slide are you seeing?
I'm seeing the 100 Best Fleets 2023 changes.
We're on the slide, what do the judges look for? So it looks like there's some latency, Mike.
Okay, let me look at it over here. Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about here is what are the judges looking for? And now it's not limited to everything that I say here, but we're really looking for agencies to be very concise. But we want to hear about the good things they're doing. We want to hear about the initiatives that they're taking. We want to, when you respond to these questions, focus on your own organization. Don't worry about what others are doing. Just pay attention to your organization, be very concise, and let us know the good things that you're doing and how well you're doing them. When you tell us about these initiatives, try to tell us what the goal is, and what the process you used or you're attaining that goal, and then where you actually are. A lot of initiatives and goals that agencies set are not completed in 1 year. So tell us where you're at, if it's completed or we're 50% or we're on target, or, there are cases when you strike up an initiative and you start going down that path and all of a sudden things aren't working out so well and you say, all right, this isn't going to work. Well, tell us about that too, because we'll share that information with others. And so that if they're going to take that same initiative, then they may have to look at things a little bit differently. So we want to make sure that we hear about that, and we'll share that with others. So, be very concise and tell us about all those initiatives. So let's move on here. The next slide here, there's a lot of questions, and you'll see this when you read the application guide. Both contests have an application guide. So make sure that you understand the question, because there are a lot of data questions there that we're asking you in the criteria, accountability and, chargeback systems and turn times and those types of things. Those are data relevant. And we're really looking for your metrics. And again, tell us what the goal is. Tell us what your goal is. Tell us where you're at, and is it good, bad, up, down, whatever. And let us know. And all the judges are industry professionals for 30 plus years. So we kind of know, and we're still active in the industry. So we know what you're doing. So you don't really have to tell us why you're doing it. Just tell us what you're doing and how well you're doing it. Don't forget to tell us your accomplishments. Don't forget about any improvements and those types of things, and the efficiency that these things are doing. Have you implemented new policies and procedures? What are your cost savings? And did you make any consolidations, or how are you doing that? So these are just some of the things you can talk about on these applications in both the public and the commercial contest. So moving on to the next slide, and I kind of think this next slide is one of the most important slides you can see. And I highly encourage everyone, if you have this slide deck, go in and print the slide out and put it on your desk, because basically you need to check off all of these boxes before you submit that application. And you need to start early. You can't wait till the last day and try to complete this application because there are quite a bit of things you're going to have to look at. And don't be afraid to involve all levels of your organization. I can tell you, when I was running my fleet for years, I would put a draft of 100 Best Fleets application together, and everyone in the fleet division got a copy of it. And I asked them to tell me, what do I need to change? What do I need to add? You people are doing it. I may miss it, or I may not have all the information we need. So involve everybody in your organization. And again, I've said this before, but focus on your organization. Don't worry about what others are doing. Don't worry about some numbers you hear flying around that we should be here and we should be there. Focus on your organization. Be detailed, but yet very concise. Again, all of the judges are industry experts. We've been around a long time. We talk to hundreds of fleets every year. We know what you should be doing. So tell us that. Be honest and factual, because this is for you. These contests are for you to benchmark yourself and compare yourself against others. So be honest and factual. Again, we have data relevant criteria and questions. Make sure we're looking for the metrics. We're really looking for numbers there. So as an example, technician productivity. Let's use that one. If you're going to tell us about a metric in your technician productivity, you're going to tell us what your average goal is. So your average goal may be 80%. And you may be, over the past 12 months, you may be at 78%. And that may be 2% better than the prior year. So that's all we need to see. And we know that you're managing that, and you're holding your technicians accountability in those things. So that's how we like to see that data relevance and the metrics in there. And there are a lot of data relevant questions in the application guides for both the commercial and the public fleets. We have clearly identified if it's a data relevant question. So look for that when you read those application guides. We like you to thoroughly complete the application. You don't have to answer all the criteria there if you're not doing it, and it won't hurt you, but we like you to answer the whole thing and be complete, because these contests are designed to answer all those questions, and it will give you a complete 360-degree look at your fleet operation when you do that. So try to thoroughly complete the application, and including the essay. You know, the essay is 4,000 characters long. So we recommend you use all that. 4,000 characters winds up being anywhere between 600 and 640 words. It's not a lot. Be very concise and tell us about your initiatives, but don't over embellish on one topic, because you'll find yourself really describing one initiative very well, and you've got 4 or 5 others you want to tell us about, but you're down to maybe, 100 words left, and you can't get it all in. So, just again, tell us what you're doing and expound in that essay. So when you answer the criteria, there's 12 criteria, specific criteria in the public fleet contest, and there's 10 specific criteria in the commercial fleet contest. Each one of those criteria have 400 characters in it. If you need more space than that, simply tell us at the end of your statement, see essay, and point us to the essay so we know there's more information we're going to read and you're going to finish in the essay. We've expanded those from 300 to 400 characters this year, because in past contests, we found that the additional information that agencies were having to put into the essay was limited to maybe 100 extra characters. So we went ahead and did that anyway and give you more room in the essay. When we start judging and we get through the initial phase of judging, it's very common to have a lot of ties. We have the judges, we compare scores, we get together and we start hashing them through that. And if we need supporting documents, we will have a member of NAFA contact you or your agency, who's ever listed there, to send us the supporting documents or send them the documents. They will send it out to all three judges, and then we will coordinate again after that. But like I said, if you're asked for supporting documents, get them to us or get them to that contact within 24 hours, because we don't really have a lot of room before we have to get moving on that. So get us those supporting documents, and we really want to see all that stuff. So I'm really excited. I'm looking forward to getting these applications moving. Usually about the third week of January, I begin judging and ranking scoring the applications. Like I said, we've got 4 contests going this year. So myself and the judges are going to be very busy. I'm trying to figure out when I'm going to have time to sleep in February and early March with all these contests. But it's going to be very fun, a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to seeing all the initiatives from everyone, and we will be putting articles and information out on that throughout the year. We'll have webinars and all that stuff, bringing that information back to you. So one thing I must say is, and I want you to know, is go to the application guides on the NAFA site. That's where you'll find all the official information about the contests. Each guide is designed to guide the commercial or the public fleets through the application and how they are to accurately respond to the criteria. So I would like to thank Agile and Kathy for inviting me to speak here today, and I look forward to reading everybody's applications. Good luck, everyone. Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you so much for being here today. I know you had an emergency at home as well, so you're waiting for a plumber. So it was very kind of you to still be able to take the time and help us. So thank you so much, Mike. And now that we know more about the contest, it's time to get started. So you need to first go to www.nafa.org/awards/the 100 best fleets and click Start Your Application. Again, as a reminder, you do not have to be a member of NAFA to apply. So at this point, you'll be asked to enter some basic information, such as your name, contact information, and what type of fleet that you have, public or commercial. And if you have applied in years past, you can also look up the information from previous year's submissions, which also helps reduce the time it takes to fill out the application. So why not start building information now for your future years? And just like Mike said, before begin entering information, you'll want to review the particular guidebook from the contest webpage to make sure you have the most current information for telling your fleet story in the application. So now let's get started and take a deeper dive into the criteria for excellence in public fleets contest. Are you ready? Because here we go. So we're going to take a closer look at each of the 12 criteria for excellence in public fleets: accountability, use of technology and information, collaboration, celebration, creativity, evidence of a high trust culture, performance recognition, quick efficient turnaround, competitive pricing, staff development, and resource stewardship. And one thing you need to remember is that, like Mike said, you do not have to respond to all 12 areas, although if you can, it's great to do so. And you can pick and choose the ones you're best in and make sure you focus on your most innovative ideas. You also are only allowed 400 characters per section. Yes, I will repeat that, 400 characters, not 400 words. So be concise and show numbers. As an example, fleet increased utilization from 60% to 80% by reducing the fleet size by 5 vehicles. Use the KISS theory. Keep it simple, superstar, and be concise. So as you start the process on NAFA's website, remember to download, and you will continue to see this throughout because we just want to make sure people go to the download and view the public fleet application guide. If you're applying for the public fleet, this is the official guidance for the contest and has the rules for 2023 for the public fleet application process. Accountability in the fleet operation must have a published list of measures such as metrics, benchmarks, etc. They use to document the performance and progress objectives. It must also have a review mechanism in place to measure both individual and team productivity for each area of their operation. Traditionally, there has not been a set of metrics that has been listed as the metrics for fleet. However, the newest issue of the November-December 2022 Fleet Solutions magazine has a list of the 16 benchmarking metrics from the 100 best fleets of 2021 and 2022 contest years. So there are 16 benchmarking metrics that are the 100 best fleets are watching, and they may be important for you to look at as well. Again, you might have some and might not have others, but these are a common theme. Average technician productivity, average fleet availability, average standard markups on fuel, parts, and sublets, average turn time, average rework percentage. Do you have a chargeback system deployed? Average scheduled and unscheduled ratio, average direct and indirect labor ratio, average technician hours, average hourly rates, average PM compliance, average parts fill rate, average training hours, your asset technician ratio, average fleet age, and average customer satisfaction. This can be simple when you look at all the reports that you can pull for your fleet through Fleet Commander. However, you must remember not all clients have the same access depending on what modules of Fleet Commander you use. If you use more than one provider for your fleet, you may also have to get some information from multiple sources, but that is not difficult. For those clients who use most of the Agile Fleet modules, you'll have a wealth of information available for you in the over 83 reports available to our clients, and even more with version 5.10. You can use the endless amount of reporting and tell your story. Do you perform PMs in a timely fashion? Are you able to accommodate all vehicles reservations? Are you sending out your customer feedback? All of these things make you better. Are you measuring your fleet from year to year? I encourage you to visit the magazine article and learn more about these metrics. The use of technology and information in fleets must have a technology deployment plan that is reviewed and updated annually. The technology may include, but is not limited to, fleet information, diagnostic tools, training aids, communication effectiveness, both internal and external, customers, governing agencies, and effective use of resources available on the World Wide Web. The first example of use of this technology in the Fleet Commander system would be having your clients agree to the policies at a set interval of time, such as every 6 months or annually. The second example on this slide is the use of the tools in Fleet Commander to send emails to all users and/or requesters to keep them updated on any information that you may need to communicate. You can also customize several emails in the Fleet Commander system to provide your client with additional information, such as a map of where your fleet is located or when pickup and drop-off hours are. You can also customize users based on training that they have had. The possibilities are endless, but it's up to you and what works best for your fleet. We all know that there's so much technology that it can be quite overwhelming at times. Agile Fleet is the engine that can run all the different technologies and allow for easier analytics. This picture shows how all the technology you need to keep your fleet running efficiently and what Agile Fleet, your FMIS partner, can do to extract the information from your technologies for your clients. Within our motor pool system, key management, GPS and telematics, analysis, consulting, risk management, fuel, and maintenance portals We can provide you with data on vehicles, policy, dashboards, analytics, hosting, and drivers. Collaboration is generally known as bottom-up rather than top-down, model of old. The fleet operation must demonstrate how they encourage the sharing of ideas among fleet personnel. The operation must also document changes made with performance improvements achieved through the use of collaboration among individuals, as well as different areas of the fleet service delivery processes. Openly discuss everyone's ideas. Listen. Have a client advisory board. Act on helpful feedback, and if something can't be done for a certain reason, explain why, so people know you're listening to their feedback. A peak performing operation always finds ways to have fun and celebrate their successes. The fleet must be able to provide a listing of how often and in what ways they celebrate the success of their operation. So how do you celebrate with your staff? Do you celebrate your staff's successes with perks or prizes? I know as public employees, celebrations can be limited from a perk or a prize standpoint. However, you can still find ways to celebrate. Celebrate your staff's success in staff meetings. Celebrate your customers' success in newsletters. Celebrate birthdays or special occasions for your staff. Cake seems to be a favorite to many, and it's simple yet fun. And do you have an employee of the month that you can highlight in your newsletter? Do community service team building exercises together. The possibilities are endless to celebrate with your staff. Creativity is so much fun in fleet, and the fleet operation needs to describe and document how creativity has been encouraged and how new ideas and new technologies have been developed and deployed to address changes within the operation. While most of our clients have started a motor pool of vehicles, some clients have also understood the value of a key box and kiosk, in which it allows you to deliver new ways for customers to pick up and return vehicles. I know one of the challenges I had at a former location where I worked was with key pickup and key drop-off for weekend rentals, since we weren't open on the weekends. So for example, we had a 15-passenger van that someone would need on Friday, another client would need one on Saturday, another client would need one on Sunday. In the past, those reservations took 3 separate vehicles, because the key pickup time for Saturday and Sunday was 3 to 5 on Friday afternoons. We found that using a kiosk allowed just one van to be used for all 3 reservations, thus saving money having fewer vehicles. The kiosk allows for checking in and checking out the same vehicle multiple times. Creativity is so important to think how to do things better and more efficiently. Evidence of a high trust culture for all employees to feel confident to contribute and to even disagree. The operation needs to demonstrate the existence of such a culture by having mechanisms in place that encourage and reward open sharing of information and ideas. Do you have an open door policy in which staff can share their ideas? Does everyone have an opportunity to speak at staff meetings? Do you gather feedback from customers through the customer satisfaction feedback tool that was shown on the screen? When implementing our kiosk for 24/7, 365 vehicle availability, we had an area that was somewhat small. At night, we needed a solution for a door of some sort to allow us to keep the rest of the building secure while still allowing drivers to access keys any time of day or night. Staff had produced several different ideas, and all were very expensive. And finally, a student worker said, "Why don't you use a pull-down door gate like the mall stores use?" That was a perfect idea and was extremely cost-effective. Students need to feel like they make a difference just as much as a part-time or full-time employee. And performance recognition is so important as well, and must be in place to both acknowledge and reward, if only a certificate and a plaque. Excellent performance and other attainment of preset goals, whether certification or meeting some level of desired performance improvement, these programs must be in place for periodic recognition of both individuals and teams where applicable. In the example that we just had in our previous slide, where the student produced the way we could keep the kiosk area open all day and night, was nominated for the Student Employee of the Year for the university. And we got to celebrate with her, her family, university officials, and staff members at an annual banquet. Now that celebration may be more than what most will be, but I encourage you to supply a plaque or certificate to your staff. Maybe you can allow them a special parking spot for a week. Maybe you can allow them to leave early on a Friday. Whatever it is, I encourage you to recognize people. You have multiple reports that you can measure client satisfaction and performance, and use tools to make it fun and special. Doing it right the first time. There must be a metric in place that is regularly measured and reviewed to determine how often any piece of equipment is returned to the shop for rework or additional repair. Example, missed in the initial repair visit, you didn't find a certain thing wrong. An aggressive program to minimize trips to the repair facility must be in place. There may be multiple ways you track doing it right the first time. You can look at the work orders by a vehicle, and you can see that the vehicle has been in for the same issue many times, for one example, but you may have a different report in a different way that you want to track that. Quick, efficient turnaround. Programs must be in place to measure the repair turnaround. This turnaround time must be measured accurately from initial drop-off until notice of repair completion. In addition, since scheduling of repairs impacts this area significantly, the scheduling process for the fleet operation must be described as well as documented effectively. In this area, I encourage clients to use the tools in the maintenance dashboard. Are you using the email tools available? Are you closing work orders quickly? Are you keeping up with the tasks that are due because of mileage or date? Don't overthink everything. Just start thinking about the tools available and use the tools and information on a consistent basis to improve the fleet year over year. Competitive pricing is so important, as the fleet operation must document and compare their cost of regular repairs with surrounding commercial and public agency fleets, and have a program in place that keeps their customers informed of this fact. This example shows both the technician hourly rate on the right side of your screen, but also the overall rates for the customized fleet offerings on the left side. Technician rates are part of the equation for the overall rates. So where do you post your rates for your clients to see? Do you email your rates with conversation about the competitors' prices to inform your clients the value you are providing them? Increasing vehicle sharing is a great way to reduce costs. Staff development. You need to have a program for ensuring that all staff members have individualized plans for continued growth and development. They need to be in place. This plan could include strategies for regular goal setting, career pathing, self-evaluation, and you must have training hours required and taken, peer and supervisor evaluations, as well as other viable documents practiced for the ongoing development of skills and talents. The only constant is change, and having a development plan will help you with that. Staff development in this day and age is all around us, but you can have them take advantage of some of the options and use them. So, do you allow your staff to attend webinars, such as today's, or Agile Fleet Workshop Wednesdays, to learn more about how the Agile Fleet system works? Encourage your staff to take classes online and in person. Do you encourage your staff to attend conferences and trade shows like the Agile Fleet User Conference and the NAFA INE to learn more about fleet? Are your technicians ASE certified? Do your fleet managers have their CAFM certification offered by NAFA? The list of education opportunities are endless. Resource stewardship. A plan needs to be in place for maximizing the utilization of all resources, including human, capital, and natural. Practices that demonstrate a concern for the environment and the organization's resources must be documented. I would give Agile an A+ for resource stewardship in providing their clients so many ways to be good stewards of our resources. Vehicle sharing is so important to the environment and financial resources. Telling your story by vehicle sharing is a great place to start. By sharing vehicles, you can on average save 10,245 pounds of CO2 per vehicle per year. That's equivalent to 5.7 acres of forest. Now, vehicle sharing can save thousands, if not millions of dollars over time, depending on the size of your fleet. And so many of you have done the hard work. Not only are you saving financially with fewer vehicles, but the Fleet Commander systems reduces paper by having reservations made on your phone, iPad, or computer instead of fax, email, or by hand. The human capital is saved as well by not re-entering reservations from a fax or email. Another huge human capital savings is having mileages come in immediately from the GPS, or having the client enter the mileage at a kiosk upon return of a vehicle, instead of having an employee go out and manually check the mileages on all the returned vehicles. There's so much that you've already done to save, and you may not even be aware of it. I recommend you keep a document around to document savings year-round. It comes in handy for year-end reports, contests like these, and providing your value statement to the organization in annual reports. The essay. Now that you have the individual sections done, and remember, you do not have to complete every section on either the public or the commercial contest. You pick the ones that tell your fleet story. The next part of the contest is the essay section, and remember, don't get overwhelmed. It's only 4,000 characters, not 4,000 words. So you'll write as little or as much as you like. This section just allows you to expand on any additional information that you may want to provide the judges. And in this section, you can go back for 5 years if you like on your improvements and changes instead of just 1 year. So now let's get started and take a deeper dive into the criteria for excellence in the commercial fleets. One thing you need to remember is you do not have to respond again to all 10 areas. You have to pick and choose the ones that you're best in and make sure you focus on your most innovative ideas. Here we go. Now we're going to shift to the commercial mindset and take a look at the criteria for the excellence in commercial fleets. You have accountability, asset management, business management, financial management, use of technology and information, maintenance, professional development, risk management, fuel management, and environmental, social, and corporate governance. These focus on the modules in the NAFA CAFM program, and that is what makes this program so successful. Again, as a reminder for the fleet contest, go ahead and download the commercial fleet application guide on the site before starting for the complete rules. Again, the accountability measures, you need to have a published list of measures, and this is very similar to what was in the first part of the public slide. But this can be simple when you look at all the reports, and you can pull your fleet reports through Agile. However, you must remember not all clients have the same access depending on what modules of Agile Fleet you use. So if you use more than one system for your fleet, you may have to get your information from multiple sources, but that is not difficult. For those clients who use the most of the Agile Fleet Commander modules, you will have a wealth of information available to you with the over 83 reports and more in version 5.10. You can use an endless amount of reporting and tell your story. Again, I encourage you to visit the magazine article and learn more about these metrics. And remember, it's only 400 characters, so please be concise. Fleet managers are asked about asset management responsibilities that include strategic sourcing, vehicle selection, procurement, commissioning, disposal, remarketing, and decommissioning. Fleet managers must be skilled in asset management to maintain or improve an organization's profitability and/or cost effectiveness. Sometimes we call this cradle to grave. Many of the numbers that client would need for these areas can be found in the assets section of the fleet, Agile Fleet, and the total cost of ownership tool. Don't forget all aspects of fleet. There's not only depreciation, but also insurance, overhead, maintenance costs, fuel, and the list goes on. You can keep track of all of this in Fleet Commander and potentially the system you use if you do not currently use our products. Business management talks about the regulations and legislation that govern a fleet manager's relationships with the organization, as well as their interaction with various external parties. Make sure you are also posting policies that affect your drivers and make sure that you have sound business management processes in place to copy supervisors on emails and to acknowledge that drivers have certain vehicles. In financial management, many organizations have an accounting department to handle finances, yet fleet managers must have knowledge of the fleet issues that affect their personal fleets. The fleet operation must document its competitiveness and compare the cost of regular repairs with surrounding commercial and private fleets, and have a program in place to keep their customers informed of this fact. So here you will briefly describe the financial management strategy for you or your client's fleet. Some of that information, if you are using maintenance in Agile Fleet, will be on the fleet dashboard. Are 80% of your shop tasks PMs and 20% RMs? The diagram from the dashboard above shows you instantly those types of statistics. What is the average cost of your task? If you aren't using the maintenance portion of Agile Fleet, why aren't you? It's nice to have data all in one spot. However, we understand if you're using two different systems. You can explain such things as vehicle demand versus capacity as well, which makes a huge impact on your fleet's bottom line. Do you have extra vehicles laying around that aren't being used? Again, that would be a huge savings if you were able to reduce that. Use of technology and information. You must have a fleet and technology deployment plan that's reviewed and updated annually. The technology must include, but is not limited to, fleet information, diagnostic tools, training aids, communication with internal and external vendors, and effective use of resources available on the web. Typically, fleet organizations have an abundance of data stored in computer systems or published to hard copy reports, having significant value to fleet managers by using the technology tools to aid in various decision-making processes to better manage the fleet. We all know that there's so much technology that it can be quite overwhelming. Agile Fleet Commander is the engine that can run all these different technologies for easier analytics. The picture shows you just how the technology that you need to keep your fleet running efficiently and what Agile Fleet, your FMIS partner, can do to extract the information from these technologies for our clients. Within our motor pool system, key management, GPS and telematics, analyst consulting, risk management, fuel, and maintenance portals, we can provide you with data on vehicles, policy, dashboards, analytics, hosting, and other drivers. Maintenance management. The vehicle maintenance directly impacts productivity, driver satisfaction, corporate image, safety, environmental compliance, and the financial bottom line. Understanding how the maintenance function coordinates and communicates maintenance principles to manage personnel, drivers, and corporate management is essential within any organization. So there must be an aggressive maintenance management program in place, including metrics that are regularly measured and reviewed to identify ratios and trends concerning how often any asset is returned to a maintenance facility for rework or additional repairs. There are several maintenance management metrics in the new issue of Fleet Solutions magazine. In your Agile system, there are several different functions to have an effective maintenance program. Of course, you must have the maintenance module and use it properly to get the information from it. A maintenance dashboard to highlight maintenance status and initiate mini maintenance activities. A work order management system, a shop manager and technician dashboard for daily maintenance activities, a task graph for how many work orders are previous versus current, a parts management function, and reporting capability. Also in the commercial sector is professional development. And just like we talked about in the other public contest, Professional development is so important, and a fleet manager needs to understand how to develop and motivate employees, work within various organizational framework, adjust their leadership or management techniques, and effectively communicate to achieve success. Risk management is planning and decision making that controls risk, and fleet management is the subject matter expert in fleet associated risk reduction and loss prevention. Here you will briefly describe the risk management strategy of you and your clients' fleets. Did you know that Agile Fleet has a risk management module? Some fleets may use other systems. However, Agile Fleet does have a module for risk management if you're not aware. And fuel management is so important, as fuel is the second largest fleet vehicle expense, requiring the fleet manager to maintain impeccable records, processes, and controls to minimize cost, mitigate risk, and maintain the fuel program environmental compliance. Practices which demonstrate the organization's commitment in vehicle sustainability must be documented as well. In Agile Fleet, you will use the fuel management module for the following benefits to demonstrate your commitment to fuel management. These benefits include associate fuel transaction records with the vehicle, track fuel expenses, run reports on fuel data, congregate different fuel vendor transactions into one repository, and facilitate valuable calculations such as cost per mile for each vehicle. And the last but not least category of the commercial set is the environmental, social, and corporate governance. ESG stands for the environmental, social, and corporate governance, and reports from companies are a way for environmentally and socially conscious investors to measure the sustainability and societal impact of the investments and serve stakeholders, customers, employees, communities, and suppliers, not just the shareholders. ESG incorporates all resource, human capital, and environmental, and a plan to be in place to ensure your organization is robust and resilient enough to continue supporting its stakeholders into the foreseeable future in an environmentally conscious and supportive way. In this section, you will briefly describe the ESG strategy for your client's fleet. Now that you have the individual sections done, it is now time for you to go ahead and do the next phase of the essay section. And remember, again, don't get overwhelmed. It's 4,000 characters, not 4,000 words. You will write as little or as much as you like, and this section just allows you to expand on any additional information that you may want to provide the judges with. In this sections, you can only go back 3 years if you like on your improvements and changes instead of 5 years that was in the public contest. So when are you going to start to tell your fleet story? I know there's a lot of great fleets on this call. Remember what we taught you. Before you get started, you need to start early, involve all levels of your organization, focus on your organization, be detailed yet concise, be honest and factual, data relevant, criteria and questions, thoroughly complete the application, expound on criteria in the essay if needed, and have supporting documents available for any tiebreakers. So what are you waiting for? It is time to tell your fleet story. I know you all have a great story to tell, and the information is at your fingertips to tell your story. Remember, your staff work hard and deserve to be recognized for their efforts. You work hard and deserve to be recognized for your efforts by your peers and clients. Fleet is often a forgotten yet very necessary part of your organization, and the contest draws attention to your fleet from upper management. You have invested in Fleet Commander or another FMIS system to make your fleet better, and you have the information available to show your investment is saving your organization time and money when used properly. And finally, we often get busy and forget just how much we do support our overall organizations, and it's wonderful to reflect on the success of the fleet and plan for the future. Agile Fleet is proud to be your current or future fleet FMIS partner. I know I wouldn't have made this career move with as many years as a fleet director as I had unless I wanted to personally be a greater part of telling people's stories, your stories, and I'm here to help you. I look forward to hearing your story and seeing your fleet name on the screen in April 2023 at the NAFA INE in Baltimore, Maryland. So now's the time for us to help you. If you're already a Fleet Commander user, we can help you pull together data that has been featured. If you are not yet a Fleet Commander client and you have been thinking about how challenging it might be to assemble this information, ask us how we can make this job easier for you. Data is so important, and having your data all in one repository and easily available makes this a simple 2-hour or less process for you. And remember, a great way to make this process easier from year to year is to define your KPIs, identify what report you can monitor those KPIs with, and do it on a monthly or quarterly basis to make your year-end reports and special projects, like applying for the 100 best fleets, simple and concise. And the best part is you have our Agile Fleet team here to help you with identifying the best place in the system to gather your data. I want to personally thank Mike Brennan for being part of today's presentation, and for all of our Agile Fleet clients and other fleet professionals that attended today's session. I hope you found today's information helpful. If you have been in the contest previously, I hope you found an extra idea or two for your toolbox to use. And if you haven't previously participated in the contest, I hope you found encouragement to do so. I have my information on the screen, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to be with us today, and I'm excited for your fleet's future and for helping you. Thank you for joining us.